I came to Edward Ferrell Lewis Mittman, I always thought that American manufacturing had to be slow and had to be expensive, and that was why so many jobs had gone offshore. What I've discovered at Edward Ferrell Lewis Mittman is that both of those things aren't true. Our company was founded 70 years ago in New York City, actually in Queens, by Lewis Mittman, and Steve Mittman, his son, runs the company today. We are essentially the starting price point in the luxury market. We make very fine furniture, but because of our efficiencies and because of the way we manufacture and the way we operate, we tend to be a much more affordable value for very fine furniture at a time when the interior design industry is becoming more and more bespoke, and we ship extremely fast because of our manufacturing capabilities. We are your 90,000 square foot custom workroom. So thanks very much. Now I'm going to turn this over to Greg Arrington, the Vice President of Operations for Edward Ferrell Lewis Mittman, who's going to actually take you on the tour of our factory. I hope you enjoy it, I hope you learn a lot, and then I hope you visit our showrooms. Thanks.
My name is Greg Arrington. I'm Vice President of Operations at the Edward Ferrell Lewis Mittman Workroom here in High Point, North Carolina. We're going to go on a little tour here and start in our frame department. We build each frame one at a time as we need that frame. We don't build lots of stock or added inventory that we don't need. That helps us keep our costs down. These are our patterns over here. We have hundreds of different patterns for our SKUs that we build. These are the pattern parts that are labeled, and the guys will machine these parts out. The dowels, we cut out tenons, we cut out grooves. We have 5 building stations. Each builder has their own individual workbench with their own tools, and they will build the frame according to the spec. Some of the things that make our frames unique are we use plenty of glue. You can see the glue squeezing out there. We use doweled rails that then come into that. We also use screws to actually enhance the joint. And then we use a corner block that we glue on the inside of. That's got 2 screws in it and staples with more glue coming out. Our frames are made of soft maple. It gives you a lot of strength. So after the frame is built, the next step is to bring it over to our spring up department and attach our webbing where it's attached with staples, doubled over the end for extra durability. Every product style has a different amount of springs with a different gauge of spring fitted to each individual piece. So we will put a heavier gauge spring around the outside edge, work with softer gauge springs and different heights towards the middle to allow for a good sit. Once he attaches the springs with the spring clips, then we will start the 8-way hand tie process. After he applies the Propex material, he'll apply his no-sag springs, and again we have different gauges of those for different feels of the backs that we want to use. Okay, we're moving into our cushion department, and again one of the things, this is a cutaway sample of one of our cushions that makes us unique, and we provide a great cushion with a wrapped coiled spring. We've got foam that's glued around the outside edges, and we've got down bags of feathers or feathers and fiber that wrap the cushion that give it a great sit. This is Darren, our cushion technician here in the workroom. Darren receives all the cushions in for our clients' orders, inventories them, and then gets them ready for that day's batch. Darren, why don't you tell them what you're doing?
We always try to make sure that our lines are very crisp and clean, and that there's not any variation in the way the cushion sits. We check crown heights on our cushions to make sure that, like in a sofa set, that everything is nice and uniform. We always weigh all of our backs, throw pillows, and seat cushions to make sure that they meet our specs, and it provides a consistent quality set for our customers.
Now we're in the cutting department, our EFLM workroom, and we've got all of our patterns down the side of the walls that we use for our standard pieces. This is Gary, our cutting team leader, and he's going to tell you a little bit about what he's working on.
This is what most of our patterns are in the custom department. It's just a drawing or a measurement. But this particular one here, this is a custom 4-piece sectional. About everything we do, we match it completely up from the floor up. There's no shortcuts. Everything is done by hand or either with a pair of scissors like this.
Gary, how long have you had those scissors?
About 35 years. So But that and the electric knife, that's what we use to cut our fabric with.
We've got currently 6 sewers here, and we sew all the standard and custom pieces that we have. Each sewer has their own specification book for the standard styles that we sew that gives them boxing heights, whether it takes a pull, whether it takes a welt. And this is Brenda, our sewing team leader, and she's going to talk to you a little bit about what she's sewing.
Hi. At present, I'm working on a very custom piece. It has real thick cord in it, and as Greg pointed out, our book here has got all our instructions on it for each style that we do, and we refer to it quite often. We have a sew line the cutters give us. I always say the cutters make a road map, and we follow the road.
This is Cheryl, our team leader in upholstery, and she's going to tell you a little bit about what Linda's working on.
Well, this time we're working on a 1997 piece. It's a chaise lounge. She starts from the seat part, and we go in and do the seat roll, and then she'll head up into the arms, and then she'll roll herself back up into the back. We are proud to the fact that we can build anything that you put in front of us. We can do it. We can do it in a timely manner.
After the product is upholstered, we move into the outsiding process. Jason and Brian here have just finished outsiding this headboard. This is a headboard that we're rolling out in the next couple of weeks. So he's through outsiding the back of it with this beautiful leather. And if you guys will turn it over, we'll show them what the inside looks like. So Jason's going to finish working on the edges here in the bottom. It's got a contrasting welt. It looks gorgeous. Okay, now we're in our COL receiving department where we receive all of our fabric and leather. This is James, who is our technician. He's going to tell you a little bit about what he does.
Basically, the fabric comes in the fabric receiving area. It's inspected on this machine, which also counts the yardage as I roll it through. I use our computer system to try to match it to orders. I make sure we have enough yardage for what we're going to make, and make sure that with all the repeats and everything that we're not going to wind up short or have any defects in places that are going to show up. And then all the paperwork is put together in a packet, and then it's given to the office, and they eventually schedule it into production.
Okay, we're in the finishing room. In here we bring in all of our cabinets, our chair frames, anything raw wood to actually finish. We can actually finish metal, glass. We apply our stains and our sealers towards the beginning of the process. We apply ceruse, dry brush in the middle of the room, and then we apply final lacquers, and then we rub it out towards the very end of the room. Every piece that we do gets finished with a pre-catalyzed lacquer. Several coats of that, rubbed in between stages from the beginning to the end. It all gets rubbed out till it's very, very smooth. One thing that really makes us unique is we offer about 75 standard colors, and then we can match any other color that a client wants us to match. A client sent in a color chip to us, soft chamois, and wanted us to match that. And they wanted the glass back painted to match that color. So we've achieved that, matched it, and we're in pretty good shape right now. We're in the leafing room, and we are watching Barbara, who is our expert silver and gold leafer, apply leafing to this metal table. We can apply leaf to metal, to wood, to glass. It's very detailed. She does a great job at it. We're in the sanding area of Edward Ferrell Lewis Mittman workroom, and we are sanding on a top, just finishing up. And this is a custom piece going to a temple in Tokyo. So we're going to take the top. Let's see what it looks like on the top. This is where we build our cabinets and all of our case goods in our workroom. And this is Wayne Sutherland. He's our finishing, cabinet building, sanding team leader. We send these CADs out to the designers for their approval. It comes back to us, they sign off on it, and when their order comes up, we build it, and the guys are very accurate. All right, we're in our Upfit area, just before shipping, where we upfit our pieces, our case goods that we make. This is where we wipe down our pieces, we attach the hardware, make sure the shelves are all aligned, check everything out, do any final touch-up to the piece before it actually gets packed in a box, and make sure that it's ready for the client. We're here at the last stop of the day. We've shown you the entire Edward Ferrell Lewis Mittman workroom in High Point, North Carolina. We've shown you upholstery, cutting, sewing, frame building, case building, finishing. If you can imagine it, we can build it. We can do this, we can do that, we can do it all. Hope you've had a great tour. Thank you.